Shadows fall, dimming the light. Whispers grow, a rising tide. Vindicator, where do you hide? Fear is over, heart ablaze. Through smoky haze, he sets his gaze. Justice calls a burning need. A city's wounds he vows to heed. From cobbled streets to tower high, Vindicator takes to the sky. Strikes back with iron hand, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chain, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. Whispers turn to thunderous roar as shadows creep. He slams the door on tyranny's cruel, grasping hand. He fights for freedom, takes a stand with courage born of darkest night. He ignites hope, a guiding light. Strikes back with iron hand, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chain, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. Though battles rage and darkness reigns, hope's ember burns within his veins. He'll never yield, he'll never fall. He answers freedom's clarion call. Strikes back with iron hand, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chain, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. A symbol etched against the moon. Vindicator rising soon.
Hello everybody, how you all doing? So let's get into it. Yeah, thanks Missy Moon, thanks for that. Yeah, a lot of people actually liking it. Not a lot of people liked it in the beginning, but I think it's starting to grow on people. Right, so as you all know, there was a hey, how you doing? Hello. So as you know, there was a horrific attack that was carried out yesterday, and it's been non-stop wall-to-wall idiocy on how you doing, Stefan, mate? How you doing? It's been wall-to-wall idiocy today on X, where we've had all the apologists coming out, and this isn't necessarily about a stream about the attack itself. This is about people coming out and defending the backward 7th century cult. Hey, how you doing, mate? How you doing? So this is not a stream talk about the event, about the attack. There's plenty of people on the internet today talking about going into in-depth detail about the attack itself. I'm more or less dealing with the arguments that have come after it, the apologists for Islam, the ones that are coming out that don't condemn these sort of attacks, but immediately start spinning the story that not all Muslims, we keep getting that all the time, whilst ignoring the massive elephant in the room, which is that Islam has a massive problem with radicalization. It really does. Last time, the estimates, and these are old estimates, the last estimate of Islamists, jihadists in the world was over 300 million. So you're talking 15 to 25% of all Muslims are actually extremists, which is a huge amount when you take in consideration that the the actual Muslims in the world is 1.57 billion in the world. So that's a huge amount of people that are, hell bent on destroying you and killing you because of their beliefs. This is something they ignore, though. So you're talking about the what was that? Defended and protected. The sang, okay, you again, children, or I don't know what you're on about there. Don't know what you're talking about. Right, so we're going to address some of these arguments. So first up, let's have a look at some of the idiocy that's been going on X today. Not that I'm going to be talking about that at some point, but not today. So we'll try and address some of these arguments. We'll get to her as well. So Piers Morgan, obviously, he's jumped on the bandwagon as well, as you thought he would. It's this sort of argument here, right? Islam has nothing to do with these Bondi Beach shooters. Blame them, not Islam. Unfortunately, what this person doesn't understand is that they are following the radical, and they're following Islam to the letter, radical Islam. And anybody who's read the Quran, know it's absolutely full of violence and instructions on who to attack. Basically, you attack anybody that isn't Muslim or anybody that won't convert to Islam. They are the enemy. That's basically Islam in a nutshell. This whole religion of peace bullshit is just a massive PR stunt to try and give Islam this fuzzy wuzzy feeling that it really doesn't deserve. So yeah, these are basically the arguments that have been put forward on X today. I mean, this is Piers Morgan, as I like to call him. Some more information for you about the hero. Ahmed's family have confirmed he's a Muslim who came into Australia as an immigrant from Syria and is now an Australian citizen. So what? So what? The two people that were doing the killing were Muslims, radical Muslims. Saying this doesn't excuse that. And this is the argument they use. They think that this is an argument against that. They think that somehow this excuses what happened on that beach. They're just delusional. Absolutely delusional. Right. Let's get into. We'll have a look at this woman's. Let's listen to Christopher Hitchens first.
Resist it while you still can. This is very urgent business, ladies and gentlemen. I beseech you. Resist it while you still can, and before the right to complain is taken away from you, which will be the next thing, you will be told you can't complain because you're Islamophobic. The term is already being introduced into the culture as if it was an accusation of race hatred, for example, or bigotry, whereas it's only the objection to the preachings of a very extreme and absolutist religion. Resist it while you can. And if you wonder what will happen if you don't, look and see how a cricket team in Middlesex in England had to change its name by force last week because it was called, and had been for years, the Middlesex Crusaders. Look and see how stories about little pigs can't be taught to children in English schools anymore, lest offense be taken by the religion of peace. This is very urgent business, ladies and gentlemen. I beseech you. Resist it while you still can.
So that was Christopher Hitchens 20 years ago. You can see Christopher Hitchens called it 20 years ago. You will be told that you can't complain because you're Islamophobic. And what happens now? Every single term when you question what's going on in the Islamic world and how they turn a blind eye to the vast amounts of radicalization that goes on in their religion, that's what you get called. You get called Islamophobic. He warned about it 20 years ago, and how right was he? So this lady here, Bushra Shikra, whatever her name is, many people found it difficult to accept that Ahmed is a Muslim because doing so would force them to confront their own biases against Muslims as a whole. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything to do that at all. But we'll get into that in a bit. Why not? When you've been conditioned to believe that Islam is the enemy, Islam is the enemy. Islam is the enemy. It proves itself to be the enemy at every single turn. Acknowledging that you have been misled or that you are wrong takes time and humility to accept. No, it doesn't. We're not wrong. The immigrant Muslim man is a hero. Yeah, still doesn't. Yeah, he is a hero. It doesn't dismiss the fact that the two people doing the shooting were radical Muslims, does it? And on that note, we'll go and have a look at somebody else. This is Bridget Gabrielle. That's actually sharing there. No, it's not. I have to share another window. Yeah, he is. That's 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Missy Moon. Yeah, he sadly died. He died of cancer, didn't he? 20 years ago, unfortunately. I wish he was still around today because I would love to see him in debate with some of these people now. He would absolutely crucify them. They tell you they're in a country to take over. Exactly. Believe what they say. Right. So for all those people out there, you know, every time a lefty comes up and says not all Muslims, because they always do. Every time something like this happens, we get the same old argument, don't we? Not all Muslims are terrorists, and that is true. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims, and they're the stats. The stats tell us that. So, well, to counter it, this is from Bridget Gabrielle, and she actually countered that sentiment when a Muslim woman brought it up at a meeting for the inquiry. I think it was an inquiry into the Benghazi attack from a few years ago. So we'll have a look at this. And this is a very good argument to use against lefties when they bring up the not all Muslims argument. We'll listen to it all.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace to you all. My name is Saba Ahmed. I'm a law student at American University. I am here to ask you a simple question. I know that we portray Islam and all Muslims as bad, but there's 1.8 billion Muslim followers of Islam. We have 8 million plus Muslim Americans in this country, and I don't see them represented here. But my question is, how can we fight an ideological war with weapons? How can we ever end this war? The jihadist ideology that you talk about, it's an ideology. How can you ever win this thing if you don't address it ideologically?
Great question. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad you brought that up because it gives us an opportunity to answer. What I find so amazing is since the beginning of this panel, which we are here about Benghazi attack against our people, not one person mentioned Muslims. We are here against Islam, or we're launching war against Muslims. We are here to discuss how 4 Americans died and what our government is doing. We were not here to bash Muslims. You were the one who brought up the issue about most Muslims, not us. And since you brought it up, allow me to elaborate with my answer. There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. Of course, not all of them are radicals. The majority of them are peaceful people. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25%, according to all intelligence services around the world. That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. That is as big of the United States. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre. When you look throughout history, when you look at all the lessons of history, most Germans were peaceful. Yet the Nazis drove the agenda. And as a result, 60 million people died. Almost 14 million in concentration camps. 6 million were Jews. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Russia, most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet the Russians were able to kill 20 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at China, for example, most Chinese were peaceful as well. Yet the Chinese were able to kill 70 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Japan prior to World War II, most Japanese were peaceful as well. Yet Japan was able to butcher its way across Southeast Asia, killing 12 million people, mostly killed with bayonets and shovels. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. On September 11th in the United States, we had 2.3 million Arab Muslims living in the United States. It took 19 hijackers, 19 radicals to bring America down to its knees, destroy the World Trade Center, attack the Pentagon, and kill almost 3,000 Americans that day. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. So for all our powers of reasons and us talking about moderate and peaceful Muslims, I'm glad you're here. But where are the others speaking out? And since you are the only Muslim representative, save the applause till the end. Thank you. Thank you. And since you're the only Muslim representative in here, you took the limelight instead of speaking about why our government, and I assume, are you an American? You're an American citizen. So as an American citizen, you sat in this room and instead of standing up and saying a question or asking something about our 4 Americans that died and what our government is doing to correct the problem, you stood there to make a point about peaceful, moderate Muslims. I wish you brought 10 with you to question about how we can hold our government responsible. It is time we take political correctness and throw it in the garbage where it belongs and start calling it state.
Well, that was that, guys. So, as you can see, she says it correctly. The peaceful majority is irrelevant because the peaceful majority, they never speak up. They never condemn the actions of the radicals. They don't. They stay silent. And talking from experience about being in country, I lived in a Muslim country for 5 years when I was out in Iraq, and I saw firsthand. Yeah, there are peaceful Muslims out there, but I'll tell you something else as well. There'll be some of those peaceful Muslims that would have seen that attack as a victory yesterday. They will be celebrating that because it's their culture. This is how their culture deals with it. That they think of, don't forget, the whole ideology of Islam is about conquest and war. Their prophet Muhammad was a warlord. So anything that came from that man is going to be about war and taking conquest, taking slaves, making slaves of your enemies. This is something they forget. The culture around it as well is a massive problem. This is what radicalizes people because they want to follow the most purest form of Islam they can. That's what Muslims do. And the most purest form of Islam is the direct text, which teaches violence. It teaches conquest. You can't get away from that. The core beliefs of Islam are conquest, not peace, not love, or anything like that. You can't get away from it. That's why we have all this mental gymnastics every time there's a terror attack about not all Muslims, not all Muslims. It's like, yeah, that's irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. And if you want my honest opinion, there's no such thing as a moderate Muslim. When we talk about moderate Muslims, we're talking pretty much about non-practicing Muslims. They're the peaceful ones because they don't practice Islam. They become westernized. There aren't many of them, but that's the people we're talking about. They are the moderates in that respect. There's no such thing as a moderate practicing Muslim. I mean, we've got to look at the type of Muslims that are in this country, because I've heard this as well. This was actually an insane argument that I heard today. Was if Muslims are so bad, how come there are no attacks in Muslim countries? Really, really? You've never been to a Muslim country, then, have you? You've never been to places like Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, places like that. You don't understand the fact that there are different factions. You know, the Sunni and the Shias, and then you've got all the denominations in between that. have different outlooks on how to interpret Islam, just as much as Christianity was. And they're all violent towards each other. The Sunni and the Shia Muslims hate each other with a passion. If you put a Sunni and a Shia Muslim in the room together for any length of time, they will try to kill each other. That's how radical these people are. Even the most moderate, if you want to call them moderate, I still don't believe they exist. Even the most moderate of Muslims are violent to some respect. So most leftoids and Bushra, whatever it is, don't understand the pro rata and how they don't understand a general fallacy when someone uses to exempt to try and prove the rule. Exactly. Totally right, Steve. Yeah, they'll use one person. So that guy, let's look at this guy, right? That's one guy out of 1.7 billion Muslims that risked his life to tackle the shooters. Now, let's not forget, right? He probably didn't know that those people doing the shooting were Muslims. Now, we don't know if he'd have known that fact, would that have changed his decision? Because he let him go. He actually let him go. He put the rifle down. He had the rifle on him, then let him go. The other man said something to me. He put the rifle down near the tree. Now, I've seen, I don't know if this is true, but I haven't seen the footage yet. But apparently, the man he disarmed went back and picked up the rifle again because he leant it up against the tree. No, I didn't, mate. I'll get to comments in a bit. I will get to comments in a bit. I'm just going to finish this off. But I didn't see that. No. So yeah, all this notion, all these arguments the leftists use, and it's very telling of the religion, isn't it? When the first thing they do, instead of condemning the actions of the people involved, they immediately come out and go into defense mode about their religion. That's what it's all about. So immediately, as soon as the event takes place, not all Muslims are like that. Not that, yeah, what those people did was wrong, and we must do something within our religion to sort out radicalization. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. It's straight into defending. And the lefties do the same thing as well. All the lefties come out the woodwork and say, not all Muslims, not all Muslims. And it's like, listen to yourselves. Actually listen to yourselves and think about what you're saying. The first action that you've done is to come out and actually defend the people, the religion that's responsible for the radicalization of these people. Not condemning the action, but defending the people that basically radicalize people that actually go out and do this. Yeah, that's not confirmed, right? It doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter if he was a Christian or a Muslim or whatever. It's still, the argument still remains the same, doesn't it? That it doesn't matter, even if he does turn out to be a Muslim. It doesn't dismiss the fact that two other radical Muslims went out there with guns shooting people. Doesn't change the circumstances of that whatsoever. Because what they're trying to do is, what they're trying to say is, look, this is the real representative of Islam, is this man here. Well, that's not true, because both are representations of Islam. The radical ones and the so-called moderate one. So look at this. Now, BSB, the 50-year-old ran away to the bridge to pick up the younger guy. Right, okay, I got you. Shotgun. The gun put up against the tree was still there when the incident was over. Right, gotcha. Still, I would have took it with me just to make sure that he couldn't go back and collect it. Did Khan allow the Jew visual? No, I don't think it. I think it did go ahead. I know he was trying to ban it, which just tells you everything about that guy, doesn't it? Good Muslims are good despite what Islam prescribes, not because of it. That's the difference. Thing is, though, any good Muslim that you would call a good Muslim wouldn't be classed as a Muslim by the rest of them. I think that's the point. Yep. Yeah, obviously, all the lefties are showing, oh, look at him, he's a hero. And he is a hero. No doubts about it, he's a hero. But the way they're trying to use him to dismiss the event itself is disgusting. Right, so what I'm going to do, this is like a bit of an off-the-cuff live stream, because I was going to do a video about this, but I thought, no, I need to show more information about this rather than just do a video about it. So what I'm going to do is, like I always do, I want some different people to actually come into the live, to come and chat to me in the live stream. So if you've been in before and I don't allow you in, it's nothing against you. It's just I want some more new people to start coming into the live streams, give other people an opportunity to talk, have a more diverse opinion coming through, chatting and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to encourage. So don't take it personally if I don't drop you in. This is what normally happens on my live streams. I'll say what I've got to say. The last 5 or 10 minutes of the live stream, I'll pass over to you guys. If you want to come in and have a chat for 5 or 10 minutes, you can do. If nobody comes in after about 5 or 10 minutes, then that's it. It's the end of the stream. That's how we roll with this one. We'll stop sharing for a bit. See if anybody wants to come in. I've dropped the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come in, you're quite welcome to do so. I'm only accepting newcomers this time. Anybody new that wants to come in can come in. I want to give other people an opportunity to speak if they want to come in. Have a look. Hi, how you doing?
Go on, I'll give you 5 minutes of time. Oh, that thing about Mansfield is out, mate. How you doing?
How you doing, mate? Are you all right?
We got some feedback.
No, there's nothing on my end, mate. You sound perfect.
Oh, the thing about Mansfield is that bomb squad out and they had to blow some up.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was reading about that just before I came on. Yeah, mate, it's getting... Well, you know about in Chesterfield, don't you? About the bomb factory we had here, don't you? About the other fish and chip shop.
Yeah, I got. Well, something about. I got informed overnight about something about an hotel as well, where the police have. Nobody knows about this apparently, but police have had to go in and take some materials away that have been bomb making materials out of a hotel in Chesterfield. Apparently, but nobody knows about this yet. So I'm trying to dig for more information about it.
This actually happened a few years ago as well, because they claimed last time it happened, it was fireworks. But what people don't understand is you can use fireworks to create a rudimentary IED. If you've got the knowledge to do it, you can do it. Because black powder. It's just black powder.
Yeah, you could do it with all sorts of fertilizers and all sorts. That's why some of these things are only sold to farmers and not general public, but you can get it off a farmer. You could go in and steal some of this stuff. Yeah, easy. He wouldn't even know it's gone off.
There's plenty of farms around that area. I mean, it's got to be the Sandpiper Hotel, hasn't it? If it's anywhere in our area, it's got to be there. Although
I was only told about this today, so
really,
I'm trying to get some more information about it. So
right, I've got a list of houses of multiple occupancy to check out. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the channel. We're doing some investigative work, some videos about that, going to check them out and trying to confirm whether these places are actually housing these people, because people need to know. Definitely.
Going back to this thing, the shooting and stuff, is that I've only just got back from a football match, so I only caught that tail end of your stream, really. But the bloke, when he put that gun back up against the tree, I'm wondering if he was scared of being shot himself, so that's why he put the gun back down.
That's you know what? That's a really good point. I thought that as well. I thought, because he kind of put his hands up in the air, didn't he? But the guy on the bridge, the guy on the bridge was pointing the weapon at him. So
yeah, I mean, I meant I'm trained with SA-80s and stuff like that in military and stuff like that. So it's different for me to say what somebody else would do to what I'd do, and the likes of. So it's just to give the general public, before when I've been shooting at ranges and stuff like that, and you just give the general public a gun that some of them shake because they're scared. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
that's in a range.
You know yourself that the first time, even soldiers, the first time they shoot a weapon, you're nervous. You're nervous about shooting it because it's a lethal weapon you're holding. It can kill people. And, you know, the way that young man was shooting that bolt action rifle was like, he's done that before. Definitely. 100%. He's done it before.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't just pick a weapon up generally and fire it unless you're lucky enough to just pull the trigger and it actually fires without it being cocked or
yeah. Did you see how rapidly? Did you see how rapidly it was loading it though? And like just moving forward. It was like he's done that before.
But I did hear something earlier about there was coppers on the scenes when there were 20 minutes before they even returned fire. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, right. Apparently, the police station was 5 minutes away. It took them 20 minutes to respond to it. There were 4 police officers on the scene, armed police officers. 2 of the women police officers refused to engage. Well, there's actually footage now of one of the male police officers trying to drag one of the female officers out into the field to take action against them, and she wouldn't go. And it's like, fucking hell.
But even if you've just got a pistol, pistols aren't great for long range. But
no.
even if you, because they was on that bridge as well. If I'd have been in that situation, I'd have at least took my son behind someone and I'd have fired multiple shots at that bridge, even if I knew I can't hit them properly.
You know what? Even if it's just keeping the head down to the guys with the big guns get there.
Just to put the fear into them.
But you know yourself about suppressive fire. Suppressive fire.
Yeah.
Just doing that.
But I don't think some of these are trained in this sort of situation, even police officers and stuff like that sort of thing, if you know what I mean. It's going to a range is a totally different scenario to being in situations like you know as well as I do. You go in the middle of a wood and stuff like that, you can't see bugger all. First thing you ever do is shine a torch in somebody's face. It's crazy, or anything like that, because you just can't see them for good 20, 15 minutes.
I've told this story multiple times on these live streams, right? So when I was out in Iraq, I was doing close protection work, right? So we had 2 ex-army police armed response unit officers come out and try and do the job, sort of thing. And the first time, mate, they got shot because it is lethal out in Iraq. You're getting shot. You can get shot at all the time, depending where you are. You're in the shit, and they just couldn't handle it because they'd never been shot at before. And it's like, it's a lot different from walking around the streets looking big and hard with your Heckle and Koch machine gun. But the minute you start getting bullets shot at you straight behind concrete bollards, mate, it's like, that's shit. Send them home.
Yeah, it's. I mean, hopefully your adrenaline kicks in fast enough so as you can deal with the situation.
That's what worries me about police in this country, because if things do kick off from these jihadis, they won't last 5 minutes. None of them. 0. Not from what I've seen, anyway.
Listen, I don't think women should be in the police force in that sort of role anyway. I don't know. And we can even go back to the airport situation where one of them got tapped on end at nose. She's vulnerable, then on floor, crying her eyes out with her weapons all on show for anybody to grab and use. The airport situation that we've seen.
It's also obviously putting other officers in danger because now they've got to babysit her while she's having a wobble. It's like, while you're doing that, you can be shot.
Exactly, yeah. So it's. No, I think they could play a part in the police force. Don't get me wrong. Could be sorting investigations out and stuff like that. There's plenty of other roles that they can be doing. In the police force, whether it's just following up on a burglary or something like that. But as a first response type of scenario, in that, it's just not.
I agree with you. With like the investigative part of things, totally. But as front line, as people that are going to be on the front line in harm's way. I mean, look at some of the police officers we've seen at protests. 5'2" women that look like they should belong in a beauty salon with their nails done, false eyelashes on. What are they going to do if like a 6-foot jihadi comes storming out of somewhere, picks them up and just throws them through a window? What good are they?
Well, they're going to be disarmed straight away, aren't they? I mean, if they don't get that
well,
taser,
you're only as good as your weakest link, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just don't see a role for them in that scenario. I don't. And same as you say, the good there looking like OnlyFans stars now. You know, they do on when you see them at these protests and stuff like that, you know, and it really rages me as well how they go on about police safety and stuff like that. And if you look at their radios and they put that little bottle top on top to make them look good and trendy. What they don't realise is them aerials are that colour, plastic, on purpose because you've probably noticed this sometimes. You can change the colour of your mobile phone case itself, and you'll notice your signal goes up or down.
Yeah,
it's something to do with the pigments in the colours. It alters SWR on the radios. So it annoys me when I see that, especially when they're going on about public safety and stuff like that. Let me stop that. Oh my God. Hope you didn't hear that too much.
That's all right, mate.
So especially me, who's been involved in radio communications and stuff like that as well, it annoys me when I see them doing stuff like that, because especially when they're on about public safety and stuff like that. And if they're in a place where they can't get a quite decent enough signal or something like that, and they've got one of them bottle tops on top of their aerial like that, it can make all the difference of whether they get that safety, because they've got a button that can press, you know, when they're in immediate danger. They only have to transmit.
It's like a panic button, isn't it? They've got.
Yeah, basically.
It's like all buttons alert into all the units in the area converge here because I'm in trouble. I'm in shit. But from what I've heard, mate, this is what I've heard because I've got family members still in the police force in Chesterfield, and they've said to me on most nights you've only probably got about only 2 cars on patrol for the whole of Chesterfield.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 police officers on shift at any one given time. It's like Chesterfield's the biggest town in Derbyshire.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no wonder you can never get anybody to come. But yeah, illegal imminent hotel.
I'll always stick up for the police, always, because I think we're knackered without them. Now, I don't think they're in a very good spot at the moment, and I don't think they're doing a very good job at the moment. But we can't carry on as a society without them, because it'd just be carnage out there. People don't realise this, but it would. Now, I don't like the way it's run.
I'll be honest with you, you're right. They're starting to lose their effectivity, and the only thing that keeps society going is obviously the fear of arrest. That's the only thing that stops people just turning to absolute chaos. And I'm worried about that as well. I'm worried about people losing the fear of arrest, because when people are desperate. I don't think sometimes people realise how desperate people are out there at the minute. Popularity for the police is an all-time low, and morale within the police itself is an all-time low. They don't want to be there, and who can blame them when you've got hierarchy? I mean, I really don't want to try and blame the police, the police on the ground, because you can tell it's the commanders, it's the inspectors.
Yeah, it's further up. I mean, even if they brought you in for some stuff, you know, their sergeant, when they got you to custody, their sergeant would just give them a round of effings and saying what you brought him here for, what you arrested them for, sort of thing. And it works sort of both ways, if you know what I mean. So, for instance, that's why I see them on these protests. They get some of these lefties, they put them in the back of the van, take them around the corner, and they kick them back out.
Yeah,
we warn them. Because if they arrested them and took them back to the station, the police officers themselves would be getting their collars fault. It would.
So I've seen the other side of things as well. I've seen people directly antagonising the police, where it's just like, just walk away from it. There's no need to engage them. Just walk away, and they can't do anything. It's like, but you know why they're doing it. Sometimes it's for the clicks, it's for the money.
To be honest with you, this is the biggest problem I see with how people don't realise is, this citizen journalism.
Yeah,
I get it in its steering law and the likes of, but also you can't go and put your camera in front of a copper's face and start yelling abuse at him and stuff like that, and then say I'm a citizen journalist and want to go over to the other side, because it just ain't going to wash it, mate.
Yeah.
Even it, because at the end of the day, they can even just go to the slightest thing as public safety, and they just won't let you through.
I think at the minute with that sort of thing,
the problem is you've got some good people that do want to do it properly.
Yeah.
Then you got a lot of others that's on the bandwagon that are doing it for clicks and stuff. And
I've been talking to Tom about this in private. It's like, because I've seen some of them up close that I've never met before, and I always thought, I'm not sure if I'm going to like this person or not. And I meet them, and it confirms that, yeah, you're a twat, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I went to that Sheffield protest. It was like some of the stuff I saw going, it was like, there's no need for it. It's like, just back off. If you back off, then you've walked away, you've stopped the confrontation. But it's not. They've got to get that extra further. They've got to keep it going for the clicks and the money, mate. And it makes it harder for me to do my job, sort of thing, when I go out there and cover it, because then automatically I'm tarred with the same brush that they are.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said this before on one or two people's panels, that it was only a couple of months ago I was looking on the actual police website to see who there was employing and what jobs it got up there. And there was actually, in Nottinghamshire, there was advertising for staff to monitor social medias.
Yeah.
There was. So you can bet your bottom dollar they're in all these streams and they're watching everything that's going off.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
So you just got to be careful of. Some people just don't understand that you aren't going to get your own way if you behave in a bad way, if you know what I mean. And it might not even be the protest that you had. It might have been something that you done previously that they think, we know this guy, we've got to look, because it's a bit like football matches and stuff like that. They know all the trouble causes before you even get there.
Oh yeah.
So
they'll have intelligence on everybody, mate. They really will.
Exactly.
What a lot of the viewers don't see behind the scenes, because I got to see it for the first time when I started going to these protests, is that they're constantly talking about money. They're constantly talking about the videos going viral. Oh, I hope there's trouble today. I hope we can get something to go viral. It's got nothing to do with getting the country back. They're not interested in that at all. It's not like me, where I want to get my country back. I want to get the word out there and information about what's going on. They're not interested in that at all. It's all about the clicks. It's all about the money. And you'd be surprised who people do it. Yeah, they'll be surprised who it is that's doing it.
The good people that's doing it right, they actually need the money, because I know how much this stuff's expensive. This stuff's really expensive to buy. Yeah. Even to have a decent enough PC properly to render your videos properly, just to get them ready for YouTube or whatever, if you know what I mean. Especially if you're doing editing stuff like that,
one of the decent guys, I was out there, I met them. Mystic Media does everything right. Does it from a distance. Film, because that's what your zoom button's for. You zoom in from a distance on them. You can get a tripod out, you zoom in. You don't really need to be right next to the lefties. I mean, fair enough. At the protest, at the one at Chesterfield, I can understand them at some point, because you've got a right to interview both sides of the protest and that sort of thing. Totally with that. That police officer that day, totally out of line, was misusing, totally ignoring Section 17 completely. Wasn't interested, and he was making a lot of mistakes in what he was saying as well. He had to keep correcting himself to such a point where in the end he just walked away, because he knew he wasn't going to win the argument. But the people doing the arguing, it's the people representing. It's the wrong people representing it, sort of thing. They were saying the right things, but with their actions in the past, it just fell on deaf ears, because the wrong sort of people to be pushing the message, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Plus, as well, they'll get away with a lot more in London when they're doing London and Manchester and stuff like that, because these places and their officers are used to taking this sort of thing, if you know what I mean. When you start coming to places like Chesterfield, Mansfield, Nottinghamshire and stuff like that, where there's not much of this stuff that goes off really,
No.
the officers don't really know exactly how to deal with it
I mean,
as much, if you know what I mean, or
this
as
is
well,
my
or as
bit.
good.
You know what I think it is, right? It's 6 of one and half a dozen the other. There's no real good guys in it because they're both as bad as each other, some of them. There's some police officers out there that are just cruising for a fight. They just want to go in and have a fight.
Oh, complete arseholes.
It's same with some of the auditors as well. They just want there for the clicks. And when you get those two groups together, there's going to be conflict, isn't there? That's straight away.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When I turned up at the protest, I immediately got surrounded by about 7 police officers, and I said to them, I said, "Does it really take 7 of you to tell me this information?" I said, "Why isn't the police liaison officer coming over here and conveying this information to me? That's what he's here for." And it's like when you speak to them in a rational sense, they're okay with you. It's like, look, just back off, guys. You don't need to have like 7 people around me. It's like it's intimidating, and you should be doing it. And so they backed off.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as anything else. You know, if you go and ram a camera in the face and start chatting and stuff like that, it's only a matter of time before you're in the back of that van.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll pick you out.
They'll just wait there as well. And same, I've got family members that's in police force, and I've also got some friends in police force. And the more you kick off, the more you're going to get it, believe it or not. And they know exactly where all the cameras are in that custody. They do. And there've been stories where they've told me before where they've given lads a few kick-ins and stuff like that, you know, and they know roughed them up a bit on purpose because
They were
because they're kicking off and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, even they know as police officers that even if they arrest and charge you most of the time, over the whole board of policing, you know, whether it's a little theft or somebody's been caught with something else or whatever, the CPS half the time, or when it gets to court, they get a little slap on the wrist. So half the coppers can't be arsed anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was. Sorry about it. We just got a bit of a.
Yeah.
Got an idiot. So yeah.
So it's, but I think it's both sides, to be honest with you. You're always going to get that. You always get in society where you get that because he's a copper. Same. It's not even just a copper. You know, you can work with a lad, and then all of a sudden he gets promoted to above you. Then he becomes an absolute arsehole. You know, he's been best lad ever, but you give him a little bit of power, and they turn into something different, don't they? You know.
The issue I've got is right. The issue I had with auditors in the beginning is that I've got no problems with them walking around. You know, like Charlie Veach does. He walks around in Manchester. He's pushing actual, you know, photographers' rights. That's fine. What I don't like is these auditors that they don't understand what a terror threat level is. So if you go and record outside a police station, of course they're going to come out and question you. Of course they are, because they think you are suspicious. So they're going to come out, and the auditors know that. They know what's going to happen. They know the drill, and that's why they do it, because they do it for the clicks. But what really gets me is why they act surprised is when they film outside an army base, and they get accosted. It's like, well, yeah, you're outside an army base in.
Exactly. Yeah, masked up and everything.
We're on the highest terror threat level in the country. You're filming outside an army base. It's like, don't you see the issues with that? You know, I've had to tell a few of them because I spoke to them in person at protests. I said, you know what, mate? And if you'd have done that in Iraq near my compound, I'd have shot you.
Yeah, I mean, when we was in Northern Ireland, we used to have folks pull up with cars and fire water pistols at the gatehouse site. You know, it's only a water pistol, but you've got to make that split decision whether that at a distance when he pulls up in a car, split second or not, whether he's a massive threat or not.
We had a rule. Well, you know, because we were close protection, we had no backup. We didn't have no radios. We could radio for backup to come in. It was us, and that was it. So we had a rule. The team leader gave us a rule. He said, right, He said you don't allow anybody to come near you within probably 300 meters. That was probably, you know, suicide vest limit sort of thing. And so what he said was, they approach you and you warned them. You put one over their head as a warning, one near the feet as a warning, and the next one goes in the head. He says you don't hesitate. He says because it's you and your mates, they detonate, everybody dies. That was it.
And they've got kids setting these vests off and everything. It's unbelievable with mobile phones and stuff like that over there. What was reported on the news and stuff like that is nothing out to real life is out there.
Iraq is like the Wild West. I couldn't believe it when I was out there, mate. I was walking around, there were little kids walking around with like high-powered rifles. And it's like, fucking hell. You know, and the things they do, the evil they do, mate. I mean, they used to put C4 in baby corpses and just leave them at the side of the road, thinking, you know, somebody's going to pick it up and it'll detonate and stuff like that. They're evil, absolutely evil people. But yeah,
but it'll never work over this mix thing. It'll never work over. You know, we have two different ways of living with two different types of people. They don't want to actually live the way we live. They just want the benefits and the free stuff, really. And then they want to live how they want to live over here. It never works.
Spider-Man, coffee can.
God, you know what? The actual level of trolls nowadays is shit. They've just got no talent anymore, have they?
No, of course they haven't. But they've worked out they can use AI now to troll and stuff like that, so that's what they're doing. Well, so you just have to let them get on with it.
Yeah, they're actually quite funny, really. I've got a funny feeling. I know it is anyway, and they've been stalking for quite some time now. Right, mate. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end it here now. I'm going to go on for a bit. So yeah, thanks for coming on, buddy. I love it when all different people come on. So yeah, thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Look after your son.
You too,
Stay
mate.
safe.
I'll see you soon. You too, mate.
See you later, pal.
See you later, mate. Bye. Right, guys, I'm going to end it here. So thanks for coming on. Apparently, my 2C's gone live, so the viewer count is going to drop, apparently. So yeah, I agree with you about he's saying about the BBC ex-director. Okay. Laughy face. What's that? In a bit, yeah. Right, guys. This is it. I shall see you all in the morning walk video tomorrow morning. Thanks for coming along. This is Vindicator. Sign off. I shall see you soon. Good night, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening. See you later, Missy Moon.